Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Vulcan UF here, and I'm actually here for I would say, my best operators, in my opinion, that are my favourite, and my classes that I run on them. And I hope you guys, you don't have to agree with me or anything, but I tend to choose 5 from each side, so 5 attackers and 5 defenders. Technically top 10 operators, but these are my best operators so far in my playing Siege. So this wasn't long ago from the episode you probably seen yesterday, so this is completely different. So now I'm gonna jump into this video. I'm gonna start with the 5 attackers that I normally go with, then I'll jump in on my defenders. Now, and then when the next season comes, I'll redo this and I'll say what my favourite is, and because an update will come through and it will just change the game completely. But I don't know about the operators, but this will change my opinion on them, because a lot of the time, a lot of people, they don't even use like Chachanka or like Capcan a lot, or like they don't use smoke a lot. I don't see many like people using like glass fuse and a blitz or something. You don't see many people running certain classes. Maybe it's just because the way they are and they feel like they're not getting picked a lot. But in my opinion, these are the most well known and most common ones I normally pick. And if I didn't pick your favourite or whatever, it's not what you pick for me. It's just, obviously what I pick, and this is my choices. If you have a different opinion or different thing, please write in the comments saying these are my top 10 or top best ones that I normally use. Alright, so first I'll go with the attackers, and now I'm going to go with Thatcher. Alright, sometimes I do go with Sledge, use him in game, but I don't really use his Sledge as much. He used to be my favourite character, but I don't really use him as Sledge as much, because every time we're going ranked or casual, in casual I'll probably use him, but in ranked I don't really use him, because 10 people use him a different way. I would use him, but really I use him on certain maps and stuff like that, maybe small ones, or if you get what I mean. But the reason why I run with Thatcher, because he's useful. Like, he's just really useful. Every map, it's completely different, and he can counteract like Bandit, Jaeger, Capcan, Mute. He can do it with, I would say, smoke. I think you can disable his smoke grenade. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But he can literally defend near enough the whole team. You can put him one against 5, and he will just do fine. But it depends where people are and the spread out and all that. Because his EMP grenades tend to use them a lot. And if you're using competitiveness and in the Siege community, it's really useful, because he can counteract everything. But then if you get Bandit using the trick, it's like when the thermite goes and then he plants the thing, you can throw it before he places it or something. You can throw it where it's about to explode, like the thermite charge, because normally it electrocutes when it's like halfway done or something like that. So you can throw it before that, and then you can just electrocute the thing, defense, the thing, and it would probably explode the hole. It's pretty useful, but then Bandit, you have three. I think you have three more, and it will just pull out more. But then you can keep on doing it. But the thing is, some people in ranges tend to just put them all down at one spot if they're not gonna do that trick. But if it's mainly areas where people go, and if you learn the map and you know where to go, mainly people use Bandit in a certain area. Like for example, what's that one map? Is it Canal War? I don't know. I can't remember. But it's got a free wall. You can reinforce the walls, and it has 3 reinforces on them. If you do that, and he would sit at the first one and he'll plant, because normally thermite goes to the first one or the middle one. It doesn't really go to the furthest one. Is what I really tend to do. I'll place one or something so I can trick them, and then if he disables that, and if you sit next to the reinforced wall, you can hear him planting or something, and then you probably hear the EMP, then you plant it, because when you hear that EMP, or if there's no thatcher, bonus, because you put it there and then you can electrocute everything, and then you can just electrocute the whole wall. Then he just counter attack, like he does counter mute because of his mute charge, Jaeger because of his defense thing. But what I normally run with him is this loadout. I don't really use the AR-33 as much, but I normally use an ACOG sight so I can get headshots better. And it's a lot more frequent, and you can see longer distance. Sometimes this gun doesn't always work out for you, but it's up to you, whatever you want. Normally it's either ACOG or possibly a red dot or a reflex. It's holographic. It's good, but I won't recommend it. It just covers up your whole screen. You want them on shotguns or something, or anything, or you could use that on glass or something like that. But yeah, I normally run ACOG so I can get headshots, and then my barrels, because after the update, the muzzle brake. Personally, the muzzle brake, in my opinion, it's good on certain weapons, but in my opinion, I don't like it, because I know it says it reduces the overall weapon kick, so basically the recoil. For me, every time I shoot it, it's inaccurate. Like, it says it steadies your aim, and that is like between the flash hard and the compensator to steady your aim. But every time I shoot it, sometimes it's not as accurate as you think. Maybe it's just my opinion, the way I've used it. I'm not used to it, but this is what I normally just go with compensator, because it just reduces the recoil spread over time for rapid firing, and it's pretty good. I normally run and like with sledge, and I've tried this with the LA, and that I've put muzzle brake on it, and it was just everywhere. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not used to it, or unless it's just the gun. Unless it depends on the gun. Because I've seen a lot of people use it on Twitch, and they've been owning or like killing everyone, and I have a go, and it doesn't work out as for me as normal. But if I had long barrel on it, I would choose long barrel, because longer shots, and I don't steady aim or stuff like that. But I don't really use the muzzle brake, in my opinion. It's up to you. You can put a muzzle brake if you like it, but I normally run compensator, because for me, I feel it's better. You can use flash holder, but I don't really small burst recoil if someone's right in front of me. But if you're long range, then yeah. But I normally use when someone's running, you start spraying so you don't sit there bursting. You know what I mean? Unless you had sniper's different, but that's what I normally do. I just go with compensator. It's better in my opinion. And then I'll go with the vertical grip. I didn't go with. I did have an angle grip on here at one point, because all it does is angle grip that accelerates the transition between hip fire and aim down. So it's basically it's faster. You're faster at aiming and stuff. That's what normally angle grip is. But this decreases weapon recoil, which you need probably on this gun because it does have a bit of recoil. If you see, as you see on that, the red line, it goes up and it's recoil, but this is more close together, and in my opinion, it's a lot more better. Now with the L85A2, it's enough around the same thing, but as you see, I'll just rep ACOG on the L8. Normally, I would have done either probably a red dot, most likely red dot more. I don't know, it's just smaller, but I use ACOG 'cause I don't know, it has wider zooming. So if you look, it's pretty big, but it is big scope. But I mean, it's kind of useful because you can see a long distance, and it's quite cool, and it's good for headshots. And I normally run compensator, as I said. As you see here, I have brought the muzzle brake before, but I didn't like it on this gun, so I replaced it and used the compensator again. In my opinion, you don't have to go with this, but in my opinion, I survive more with a compensator. Now, as with the grip, there's only one grip. I go with vertical grip. It's because it's useful. It reduces thing. I don't really go on the barrel on anything because I don't really hip fire like these guns. Only if it was a shotgun or anything like that, I normally hip fire with. Okay, I don't, and there is a shotgun there, but I don't really use the shotgun on Thatcher at all, because I feel like it might be good for small maps, but everyone runs with SMG most of the time. If you're far away from the person, they're gonna win even if they have SMG, which is not good at far distance. But he can burst fire, or unless you switch to your pistol and start spraying. I don't really have nothing on a pistol. Sometimes I would go with a silencer on it. I've never tried muzzle brake at all, but sometimes I do go with a suppressor. Still, it's because it dampens the sound of the weapon when you're firing it. I shoot it to take out cameras so people don't know where I am. So that's a bonus. Sometimes I use it, but sometimes if I have a friend, I normally do it like that. I don't really use muzzle brake. It's up to you what you have on your pistol, because I don't really use stuff on my pistol at all. So that's it for Thatcher. Now if I back out, now if I move across, this is Ash. She's really good, she's reliable, she's fast, she has a breaching charge, well, breaching round, and this is what I normally rep with her. G36C, okay, a lot of people I've seen, as well, a few people I've seen normally go ACOG and then put a silencer on it. With me, I go with holographic because in my opinion, the ACOG, it makes the recoil a lot more worse. In my opinion, the last time I used it, it was quite bad. So I just go holographic. I don't really use it, but I normally, well, I don't know why I'm running flash hider, but I normally run compensator. But I might have a go at using the muzzle brake on here because it's a new gun and I don't really use much. I don't use this weapon as much, but I normally go holographic, then vertical grip, then muzzle brake. I know there's an angle grip, I think that is. Yeah, but I don't really go for it. because I prefer weapon recoil, because the muzzle brake, it does, even though it says it reduces like the kick, which is, I don't know if it kick is the same as recoil, because the kick is when you fire and it goes up. Well, basically it's like, I think it's similar to recoil. I'm not too sure. If I'm wrong, just put in the comments. So yeah, I normally go with vertical grip, holographic, and probably compensator, but I'm going muzzle brake on this, so because I'm giving it a try. But I normally run compensator on near enough every weapon. And now I'm going to R4C, which is one of my favourite weapons. I'll go ACOG. If you're not running ACOG, go with holographic. It's decent, it's pretty good. With the same with this, there is an extended barrel, which is pretty good. It is good. I've never used it on this weapon, but I do like extended barrel. Provides the full damage over a long distant range, which offers you more option in terms of positioning to take down your opponents. Basically, long barrel does more damage because of long distance. But I normally go muzzle brake. I've never tried, compensator. Never tried muzzle brake or extended barrel on this weapon. But as you see, the extended barrel, just if you look at the recoil pattern, it's got a huge recoil. Where, as you see with this is spaced more out for the recoil, but this is close together. So as this compensator is near enough the same as extended barrel, but it does have a bit of recoil if you hold down the trigger without moving. But if I had a situation, if I had like an odd death, close quarter, I'll probably go muzzle brake and compensator. But if it's a long maps or anything, I'll go extended barrel. Both ways, it's gonna be good. But I normally run compensator. I've never went with muzzle brake on this, but I would try and use the muzzle brake. So apparently the muzzle brake's a lot better because it's in between the compensator and flash hider, so it does both the same thing, near enough. It does recoil spread over time, reduces that, and the muzzle flash, it reduces small burst recoil. You get what I mean, and it says it's between both of them. So I might have a go at this, but as you see, I normally just go with vertical grip because that's the only thing you get use. But as I said, for barrels, I normally go for compensator. But for now, I'm going to try and test out muzzle brake to see what it's like. And if you want another one, I'll update it in the future when when the next season comes. That's really it for these weapons. Normally, I run for pistols. I normally run the 5.7. I don't really have much on them. M45. Got high damage but 7 clip capacity. You want more clip capacity, so you can fire more bullets in your enemy. I know this is more damage, but I prefer less damage, more bullets, because it does better. That is in my opinion though. You don't have to go. These are my favourite, and this is what I normally use. Now, sometimes I go with thermite, but I don't go with thermite. So I've done Thatcher, Ash. Now I'm going with Twitch. Twitch is one of my favourite classes. She's brilliant. I just love F2. F2 is really good. And I don't really use the 417 because, in my opinion, I would use that for big maps or something, for a long range if you're outside and going into window. Because really, the further you are, the more damage it will do. I think that's right. But this has a kick on it, and I don't know if it's accurate. I've never really tried it. It has a quite big kick. Last time I used it, I don't really like this, so I don't really use it. And I don't really use a shotgun. I normally use the F2. I normally run with ACOG, compensator, and vertical grip. As I said with this, I've never used this one. As you see, the compensator, the recoil pattern, this goes more low, but it goes more spaced, if you know what I mean. When this goes all put together, so it's really good. But apparently this is good, but I've just never really used it. And with the F2, because it's a fast fire rate weapon, I don't think this is a good idea to use it. But I will buy it to have a go at it, because as I say, I always have a go at stuff. And if I don't like using it, and then I'll give an update on the next season. And that's really it. I'll normally run the P9 because I know this. I know the Magnum. It is good. 77 damage, really good for a pistol. Capacity 6 though, you're gonna waste a lot of bullets. But if you use the F2 and you know they're almost like gonna get into the revive position, if you use the Magnum, switch to your Magnum and just pop them. I normally just switch to the P9 anyway and just start spraying. But this is good. 16 capacity and 30 damage, pretty good. And I normally run Claymore so to stop people coming behind me and killing me. Now this is getting more interesting because this is going to be one of the shield This is going to be one of the shields. I normally go with Blitz. So I normally run Blitz, but over this couple of months, I've been running Montagne more because after his buff, I feel like he's a lot better. And the same with this. The Magnum is good for him, but it's only good if you're close range. And if like this, it has more bullets, but this you have to hit every shot. With this you don't have to. You can hit like a few bullets and they'll get down. It basically really shield persons or to block every shot. If you go with Blitz and if he had the Magnum, then it would be kind of good because then it would be sort of better. But this, a lot of people do go with Magnum. Sometimes I go with it, but I do prefer the P9 because it's a lot better overall in my opinion. And I'll just go with stun grenade, no smoke grenades. And I forgot as well, on the Ash class, I do run smoke grenades, not breaching charge. Sometimes I do, but yeah, sometimes with this is. I'm not saying both of the shield ones are my favourite, so they join together in my opinion. But if you guys prefer one, I go ahead and run it. I just normally run this pistol. I just normally use suppressor and the laser sight for hip fire actually, because you're not gonna really aim unless they're flashed or anything. I use breaching charge for him. He is my favourite, but at the moment I prefer Montagne. But the fifth one, I would say, basically the Montagne and Blitz are joint for fourth in my opinion. But IQ is gonna be my next one. I haven't updated this, but I don't use the GAA one. A lot of people do, and I do prefer it, but I prefer the Orc and the Commando. Really good. I run, as you see here, the Silencer, Vertical Grip, and Holographic. In my opinion, it's a lot better. Sometimes I go with ACOG, but I prefer Holographic because I can see a lot better. In my opinion, I just prefer it. And the Orc, I need to change a bit because I don't have any barrels on it, and I'm just gonna go with compensator because I normally run compensator on every gun. But that's normally it on this gun, and I just normally go, the only pistol. And if you have a lot of breach people on your team, if they pick a lot of breach, like if they have a lot of breach charges, like if there's Ash or Montagne or anything to do with breach charge or thermite, I normally go with stun grenade, but I do go with breach charge now and then. So if there's an open wall, I'll open it just for an entrance. And that's gonna be it for my attacking operators. But now I'm gonna move on to my defenders, and these are my ones. I don't really go with smoke, and my favourite is mute. I'm gonna try and get this a lot done over and quickly. I normally use red dot and compensator, and the shotgun on new holographic, which is it's okay. Not only run with it if I'm on plane sometimes, or house, or certain maps sometimes, but I normally run just compensator on here. But I've got flash holder on here. I accidentally brought that. But with SMGs, I don't recommend muzzle brake. I don't know why, in my opinion, because I don't really use muzzle brake, but I'm gonna buy it anyway just for you to test. And I'll just go red dot. I don't go anything else. Red dot is it's simple, and it's an SMG, and you don't want a holographic. I would say red dot or reflex is good. But holographic's too big for SMG, so like I mean for this type, for an MP5K, it's quite big. Now from mute, I'm gonna scroll across. Actually, I'm gonna go down. My favourite one is Bandit out of the two. I do like them both, but I prefer Bandit. I do prefer Bandit because it is my favourite, and yeah, it's sort of, I do like this because I just prefer the MP7 over anything. Like I know they both have MP7s, but I prefer Bandit because I know they're both near the same, but in my opinion I do like both, so really these two can be joint second, or or I would have Jaeger next. I might pick Jaeger next because he's one of my favourites too. I use holographic and compensator, and that's what I normally use. I'm an MA, I do normally go with laser sight, or with a holographic, but with this I don't really use shotguns anymore, and I'll just go with the P12 because it's just simple. And then now I'm gonna go Jaeger. Right, this is the same situation here. I do normally do the same holographic and laser sight, but I don't really use them. 416C carbine. I haven't really used this in ages, but I normally go with holographic, compensator, vertical grip. I haven't used this in ages, so I don't know what's good on this weapon, but I stick with compensator in my opinion. But as I said, I'm gonna buy the muzzle brake to give it a try. On certain weapons I'll give it a try. So I normally run compensator. As I've saying everything else, go to the P12. I don't really have nothing on that, but sometimes I go with put a silencer on it if you want to get rid of cameras and stuff and be more silent. Next, I don't really go with castle or pulse. I normally 1, 2, 3, and these would be my 4 or 5. But if these two would joint together in second, and these would joint together on third, I would have chosen castle and smoke, because I don't really use Capcan or Chachanka. I only use them now and then. In my opinion, Capcan is good, but I just don't really get kills with them. So if you would say these two joint second, in my opinion these two joint second, but for now I'm doing like 1, 2, 3. These are 1, then this one's in second, and this is third, and then it's 4 and 5. But for now I'm gonna change it up and go mute. Then it's Bandit, my favourites. Doc, I prefer Doc than Rook. I I just prefer dark a lot more. So that's 3. Then I'll go castle, and as I said, it's between smoke and capcan. But for now, I will pick rook. This is a bit messy. This has been a bit messy for the defenders, but my favourites at the moment are mute. The ones that I really use at the moment are mute, bandit, dark rook, and that's really it. So I'm gonna go. These are gonna be mine at the moment. As I keep on saying this, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be mute, bandit, castle, dark, and rook. Now I'm gonna move to castle, so I can give you my opinion. Yep, castle. He's one of my favourites for certain reasons, but I normally run for holographic. He's pretty good. Ignore this at the moment because I've only chose extended barrel at the moment because I'm testing it out. But I normally go with compensator. So in my opinion, go with compensator. But if you prefer muzzle brake and go or any of these, just go with them. But in my opinion, I prefer compensator. But I'm just testing these 2 at the moment. But go with compensator if you prefer that. But these, in my opinion, this is what I normally use. I normally use compensator for every single weapon, but I'm just testing out muzzle brake and these new attachments. So in the next season, I'll redo this update. So and then I'll go with vertical grip. At the moment, you just forget about extended barrel. Just think that's compensator. And holographic. I don't go with anything with M10 or anything, but I normally go with shield. I don't really go with impact grenades because they're quite useless. 5.7, and I normally go with 5.7's a lot better. I normally run a silencer on it, but I don't. On this account, I don't run the silencer. Now let's move over to dark. I will update this next season, as I said. I normally run the MP5. I normally run ACOG flash hider because I've never used this muzzle brake. So if it was compensator, I'll go with compensator, but I'll run flash hider. But for now, I am actually testing the muzzle brakes. I haven't actually used them on these weapons, so I'm testing them. And now to go vertical grip. And with these, I don't use a shotgun, but the P90, I'll tell you what I normally run on the P90. I normally run either a reflex or a red dot. I don't use ACOG or holographics, it just looks really stupid. Red dot or reflex, I prefer reflex on this weapon. Then barrels, I normally go with suppressor. I don't know why, I just normally go with suppressor, but if you want to use it in a different way or anything, go with muzzle brake. So I'm still getting used to these new ones. I've never used these new ones at all, but I normally run with a suppressor on these sort of weapons. So I'm just keeping that. I haven't updated this on the P90. I don't really run it on dark. I normally run it on rook. I'll show you my rook classes. P9, and I normally go with the P9, not the thing, not really this. These, it doesn't really matter, but I normally go deployable shield. But let me just customize this for you guys. Nope. I normally run suppressor on it, so as you say, I normally run reflex and suppressor. Now Oh, and then we go to Rook. Here we go, Rook. As I said, same thing for P90 reflex suppressor, but if you want, as I'm saying, I'm getting used to them. I'm just gonna put muzzle brake on it for now, so I'm gonna get used to it. I normally run suppressor. I'm sorry if this is confusing, but I'm telling you the right ones I normally use. I'm just testing the new barrels out, but I normally just go with suppressor on this, so you don't have to, but I normally go with suppressor. Now the MP5, same thing, ACOG, flash hider and vertical grip. But as I was saying, I'm going to test out the muzzle brake, so then next season I'll tell you if it's good or not. And I normally run with P9. And then any of these you can I'll just go with the plausible shield so I can hold behind it a lot better. But that's gonna be it for now. If I didn't actually choose these, I would have went with Jaeger, and I would if I didn't run with. Alright, so mute. So this is probably gonna get it probably got confusing for you, but mute bandit. Mute Bandit, a Castle, Doc and Rook are my favourite today at this moment. But if I didn't choose these, I would have went Mute, Bandit, Jaeger, Doc or Rook, one of them. Capcan. Basically, Rook and Doc, then with the same. It's just that one has a stim pistol, one has shield, like armour. So I'll put these joint third, just for example. So, as I said, I normally run Mute, Band. These are my favourite defenders at the moment. This is what I normally use. I do like Jaeger, but I just prefer Bandit. So I'll just go Mute, Bandit, Castle, Doc and Rook. Those are my favourite defenders. And as I said, the next time I'll update and I'll tell you which ones are my favourite defenders and attackers. As I'm saying, I'm going to repeat my attackers: Thatcher, Ash, Twitch, one of the shields, but I prefer Montagna, and IQ. That's normally my favourite attackers. Really, it's not really top 10, but these are my best ones I'll normally go with. But as altogether, all my favourites, so my top 5 favourite attackers, as I said, I've just read them: Thatcher, Ash, Twitch, Montagna and IQ. But altogether, I would have added on Sledge, Blitz and Fuse. And defenders, the ones that at the moment, singularly, like these are my top 5 best defenders at the moment, but underneath them I'll understand. Altogether, my defenders would have been Mute, Jaeger, Bandit, Smoke, Castle, Doc, Rook, probably Capcan or Chashanka, one of them. I do like both of them, but it's just that I just prefer Capcan. But my top 5 favourite, as I said, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself: Mute, Bandit, Castle, Doc and Rook. Those are my favourite ones till now. I'm sorry it got confusing. I'll try and put it in the description if I remember. But for now, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace.